Welcome back to Politics Nation on MSNOW. I want to bring in my political panel to discuss key issues of the week. Joining me now is Kurt Bardella, publisher of the Watchdog Report on Substack. He is also a former senior advisor for the House Oversight Committee, and Jamie Jackson, a Democratic strategist. Kurt, the Trump administration has done little to nothing to address the American public about the war in Iran. According to the New York Times, Trump is the first president in the era of modern polling to take the United States to war without the support of the public. What they have done instead is transform the war in Iran into a social media memes where they splice real-world bombing footage with clips from action movies and video games. You see them here. What exactly are they trying to do? And is it effective in selling the war to Americans who aren't already Trump supporters?
Yeah, it's interesting, Rev, because when you think about it, this war began just days after the president delivered the State of the Union address. There was an ample opportunity and audience to actually make the case for this conflict at the State of the Union, and he didn't do it. And the only reason why is because he either believes that, one, the American people wouldn't support it, two, that it would not be a successful effort in any way at all, or three, he doesn't believe that he needs to, that he's above all of that he doesn't need to explain himself. He is the self-appointed czar of everything, and he doesn't have to lower himself to explaining himself to the American people. Either way, the results speak for themselves. The American people don't support this conflict, and they remember, as all of us do, all of the times that Donald Trump and the Republican Party said no more Middle East conflict, no more endless wars, no more good money after bad, and yet here we are spending $1 billion a day on a conflict that no one in America can explain why we're there in the first place.
Jamie, most recent national polls show most Democrats and independents oppose the war with Iran. Democrats tried to pass legislation that would have directed the president to remove forces from Iran unless Congress approved the war, and that failed. What tools do they have left to push back?
Well, there are a number of things that Democrats and Congress can do to continue to push back and hold the Trump administration accountable for this unauthorized war of choice. Number one, they can continue a strong messaging campaign. Leader Jeffries in the House has been leading the charge, asking the administration to come forward and put forward real evidence of why we're in this war. So far, there's been no evidence of an imminent threat. We've seen members of Congress storm out of classified briefings out of frustration because the administration has failed to put forward a cohesive strategy as well as a cohesive message as to why they brought us into this war. We also have Adam Smith leading the Dems on the House Armed Services Committee, which I had the privilege of serving on as a legal advisor during my time as staff in Congress. We have Greg Meeks, who is leading the House Foreign Affairs Committee. They've been strong advocates for holding the administration accountable. Also, if there's a supplemental request that comes across, we can really Democrats can really look to implore the administration to put forward some real evidence, again, of why they have us in this war. We learned this week that the war has cost $11 billion. And while a supplemental may be on the way, I encourage members of the House and Senate to really ask the tough questions before putting any more money forward towards this war.
Now, Jamie, earlier this week, South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn announced that he was running for re-election. He's 85 years old and the most senior Democrat in the state of South Carolina. He helped Joe Biden secure the 2020 nomination with his endorsement. Here's how he explained his decision to run for re-election.
If I were not up to it, I would not do it. As one lady said to me, an elderly lady, said to me, "We don't listen to them people up there." And you should not. You should listen to the people down here. And we don't want you to listen. And so I'm responding to the people down here.
The announcement comes as Democrats seem to be in the midst of a generational battle. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton, who is 47, is challenging Senator Ed Markey, who is 79, for their state's Democratic Senate nomination. He told the Washington Post that it's time for older members to move, saying, quote, someone has been in Congress for half a century and will be 86 years old at the end of the next term. In fact, is too old. Is age the issues Democrats can't shut down, and how important is it in the midterm?
Yeah, this one is tricky. I support generational change, but I also think age can be arbitrary when it comes to politics. The real question is, how effective is the member? Are they still passing legislation? Are they still active in fighting for their constituents? Are they on the campaign trail pushing forward new talent to take the party forward? So that's the real question here. I don't believe in an arbitrary cutoff number. Again, while staff in Congress, I had the privilege of serving for then Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, who is still a very effective member. We see him on the floor debating legislation. He's on the Appropriations Committee. And so I think age can be arbitrary, and you really have to take each member on a case-by-case basis to determine whether or not they're effective.
Now, Kurt, earlier in the show, we mentioned Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene blaming boomers for Iran, the national debt, and other issues. Donald Trump is 79. Are Republicans grappling with this generational issue, same as Democrats? Is this a bigger wedge issue for both parties?
Well, again, I think it depends on the person in office and, again, how their constituency actually feels about them. Nobody can possibly deny that James Clyburn doesn't have a massive constituency in South Carolina, and those voters have made it very clear time and again they want him to represent him, and so that's probably what's going to keep happening. I do think it's ironic when you look at Donald Trump, when you consider how much Republicans particularly spent the last election talking about the issue of age, talking about Joe Biden's mental, cognitive health and well-being, and yet every day we are seeing evidence of a deteriorating president trying to play commander-in-chief and cosplay Call of Duty in real life, but who is withering before our very eyes, who does not demonstrate the ability to put together a cohesive, coherent sentence that makes any sense at all. So I think the more that Trump deteriorates, the more that Republicans will be held to the standard, or lack of standards at times, that they put Joe Biden under.
All right, Kurt Bardella and Jamie Jackson, thank you both for being with us.